Why are Western European nations, Canada, and the United States opening their borders to mass immigration? Hi, I'm Rex Rogers, and this is episode number 160 of Discerning What is Best, a podcast applying unchanging biblical principles in a rapidly changing world and a Christian worldview to current issues in everyday life. The first day President Joe Biden took office in January 2021, he signed executive orders changing United States policy regarding immigrants, opening the southern border to a free flow of illegal migrants that have walked or swam into the U.S. every day since. President Biden's actions regarding illegal immigrants, which he has enlarged and enhanced repeatedly since, is a conscious decision to defy and ignore the laws of these United States. In other words, lawlessness began in and has continued from the Oval Office. As of January 2024, more than 7.2 million migrants have illegally crossed into the U.S. over the southwest border during the U.S. President Joe Biden's administration, a number higher than the individual populations of 36 states. Illegal immigration is literally changing the American political landscape, threatening the well-being and security of American citizens, and, Mr. Biden hopes, building a new base of voters for his socialist views. Immigration has therefore become a major issue in the 2024 presidential election campaign. Why? Illegal migrants break the law as their first act entering the U.S. Migrants are shipped to cities like Denver, Chicago, New York City in numbers that now far outstrip the city's financial and functional capacity to handle them. Migrants are often fake refugees, coming not to learn the language and culture and assimilate, but to demand freebie entitlements, including phones, hotel rooms, food, driver's license, insurance, even abortions. Insofar as migrants work, and thousands do not, they are taking jobs from American citizens. Migrants who do not want to assimilate, which appears to be many if not most of them, not only in the U.S. but in Western European countries, are unhappy, angry, make religious demands, engage in higher levels of crime. Some migrants, difficult to tell how many, are religious zealots coming to America with plans to agitate, riot, and otherwise create mayhem, as they are presently doing in European cities, in an intentional effort to disrupt what they consider the Great Satan Society. Borders globally are supposed to serve as the demarcation lines that define the territories of countries, signifying sovereignty and control. In essence, an open border is one where people can come and go without restrictions. Now let me be clear. I am not opposed to immigration or immigrants, but to open border illegal immigration. Those like me who are opposed to open border policies argue that an influx of migration risks overwhelming public services. Cities face the risk of overpopulation, and some experts say migration presents a security risk. Western nations have been opening borders to increased immigration for a variety of reasons, including economic growth. Theoretically, immigrants can help fill labor shortages in various sectors, from high-tech industries to agriculture. They could contribute to economic growth by providing labor, starting businesses, and paying taxes. Number two, demographic challenges. Many Western countries face aging populations and declining birth rates. Supposedly, immigration helps counteract these trends by bringing in younger workers who can support aging populations through their labor and contributions to Social Security systems. Number three, cultural diversity and innovation. Immigrants bring diverse perspectives and skills, which can lead to greater innovation and cultural enrichment. Number four, humanitarian responsibilities. Western nations often have commitments to accept refugees and asylum seekers fleeing war, persecution, and natural disasters. This is both called a moral obligation and a requirement under international law. Yet many countries of the world take in no immigrants at all. And then there's something called multiculturalism, which has significantly influenced Western nations' approach to mass immigration by shaping policies and attitudes toward cultural diversity and inclusion. Multiculturalism promotes the idea that cultural diversity enriches society by introducing a variety of perspectives, traditions, and practices. This belief has led to more open attitudes towards accepting immigrants from diverse backgrounds. Multiculturalism emphasizes the importance of social cohesion through the integration of these diverse groups. And multiculturalism is often linked with human rights and the idea that all individuals, regardless of their background, should have equal opportunities. Embracing multiculturalism is seen as a way to leverage the economic benefits of immigration. Now, there's a problem. While multiculturalism may have played a positive role in shaping immigration policies, it is also met with challenges and criticisms. Debates continue over the balance between celebrating diversity and maintaining social cohesion, the impact of immigration on national identity, and the best ways to integrate newcomers into society. Why then are Western nations opening their borders in what looks like an irrational form of cultural or national suicide? As I noted earlier, over much of the world, birth rates are plunging and populations are aging. This means that there will be fewer workers to support older people and growth. And this means that most countries will increasingly need to rely on migration. Western nations, beginning with Germany, bought into the idea, as I said before, of multiculturalism, a misguided philosophy that claims all cultures are relative, meaning none are better or worse than others. Western nations also embraced moral relativism, meaning truth cannot be identified, nor can better or best, right or wrong. Thus, the host nations neutered themselves with no ability to enforce their own laws or stop illicit behaviors like groping women in the streets. Western nations opened borders to people whose beliefs and values did not align with the host country, who did not really want to assimilate by learning the language or adopting mores and traditions, who rather wished to balkanize into their own ghettos, who brought with them pagan outlooks on male-female relationships, family, and work, none of which matched the host society, and which generated reaction and division, which true believers in multiculturalism then labeled as racism. Now, migrants arrive from largely Muslim countries, which share few to no values in common with Western culture. These new Muslim migrants use the religious liberty of the host countries to promote their own anti-freedom religious views as understood in Sharia law, and often orchestrated provocative in-the-street mass praying toward Mecca, blocking pedestrian and vehicle traffic. Their motives were not religious or personal freedom as much as social domination and economic entitlement. Now, on balance, the wholesale embrace of open borders, mass immigration, the false teaching of multiculturalism and moral relativism have resulted not in economic boom, but social chaos and unrest, ongoing protest, intertribal street-level infighting, residents versus new arrivals, religious tension, and the very real possibility that Western European nations are in the act of committing national and cultural suicide. Meanwhile, immigrants who seek admission legally are subjected to higher costs and often delayed indefinitely. This is not racism to say this. It is objectively true. And under the current administration's policies, the U.S. may not be far behind the turmoil of Western Europe. Well, we'll see you again soon. This podcast is about discerning what is best. If you find this thought-provoking and helpful, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Download an episode for your friends. And for more Christian commentary, check my website, REXM as in Martin, that's rexmrogers.com. And remember, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm.